that was one thing I know. I've always called the Republican Party the party of no.
And you'd be
It's,
wrong.
it's not a party of. It's not a party of ideas. It's a party of no. Well, how about we do no? Let's have health. No.
Well,
Let's
with that note,
Let's
I'm going,
privatize.
No. I'm enjoying this. Just keep it rolling. I'm enjoying it.
yeah, everybody likes watching David get beat up. So.
Well, we do have to go because we got. But you're exactly right. I was listening today to Chris Christie because Donald Trump picked his running mate today, and Chris Christie, and the reporter kept pushing Christie to say, the Bushes aren't supporting Donald Trump. They're not going to the convention, and all Christie could say was, "Well, it's not Hillary." Well, it's not Hillary. It wasn't, well, Trump's going to do this for America. It was, it's not Hillary. It's
Just
not
for the
Hillary.
record,
It's
I'd
not
like to
Hillary.
tell you there's just as many Democrats going, it's not Trump. It's not Trump.
Well, at least we got an idea, but I agree.
You do
So-
have
But
an
you're
idea.
right, you're
It's
right.
not Trump.
It's the party. It's the party of no. when
It's
it
the party
comes
of no.
to
You are
really-
absolutely inaccurate.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry. You are absolutely inaccurate.
Can
That
you-
said, we do need to wrap it up since
Yes, we
we've
do.
nearly gone.
Nancy, thank you for coming.
We did
You've
enjoy.
done my job tonight. I hadn't even had to talk
Well,
tonight.
listen,
I'm so excited.
I've enjoyed that.
I have too.
Yeah,
So
I had a blast.
early voting starts here
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Early voting starts tomorrow. You can go vote if you're in the 39th district.
Yes.
It's only early voting is only available at the Election
Commission.
Commission at 109 Academy Avenue.
But 39 is Whitwell.
39 is Whitwell, Jasper. I think most of Jasper.
Some parts of it, not a lot of it.
Howells Crossroads, and of course Mont Eagle.
Everything east of the river. If you're watching Haletown Lads Guild, you can vote for
Shake
Nancy.
rag.
Yeah, look for it. check off the vote in that Democratic ballot, and look for Nancy Silvertooth.
Silvertooth. That's an easy name
That's
to
an
remember.
Yeah.
Coming up, we got Virgil Holder. He wants to be mayor of South Pittsburg. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Welcome back. We appreciate you sticking with us, and we appreciate Nancy Silvertooth coming to see us from Franklin County.
I don't think the last half hour is going to be quite as eventful as the first half hour.
If it is, I'm going to lay down in the fetal position. I see.
We could get it up here now.
Yeah, she's a spitfire, I tell you.
Now, and honestly, it's the same arguments, but it's different when it isn't presented as them and us.
Yeah.
It's you and me. At least then you're having to look at one another and go, well, I don't disagree with you there. So you're not doing platform versus platform. You're doing ideology versus ideology. So until we're able to do that culturally without having absolute, I'm right and you're absolutely wrong, I think we're going to continue in the same trend. Doesn't matter who's in power,
If you don't listen to the other folks around you, you're never going to learn anything. You're not going to learn how to straighten it out.
Yeah,
So,
and I think we're very comfortable in our base of knowledge. But I will say, I consider myself relatively open to other thoughts. My wife thinks differently. But
Well, I hate to tell you, but she's right. So anyway, Virgil wants to be mayor.
Mayor of
Mayor of South Pittsburg.
yes,
Well,
he
that's
is.
all right.
And
Why did you decide to run?
Well, the reason I decided to run is I've been involved in city government now and following the city government for about 8 years. And I've lived here all my life. I've noticed our town digress. It has not grown. I don't see any promotions of trying to get it to grow. And I feel like that we just need a change, and we need someone that's involved and wanting to help grow the town. And so that's where I'm at.
Well, I see.
All right. Well, now let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Obviously, the current administration, they've had 2 floods. They're recovering from some malfeasance in the previous, that they had some money due back. What about that?
Okay, let's start with the floods. We had the first flood in 2013.
All right.
Nothing was done until after the 2015 flood, and even looking at any solutions. And after the 2015 flood, nothing started until halfway or a quarter way into the election year, and then we started having meetings. Still, nobody's out talking to anybody about how to find a solution other than meetings that no one knows when the meetings are. You have to go call and track down. So how do we get the citizens involved and find out what they want, what they need, and without getting them involved?
Would the argument then be, well, these citizens on Irondale Road are going to have very different interpretations of what's needed than the businesses on 3rd Street?
And that's true. And they do have different needs. And they do have different solutions for fixing those needs. And that's where everybody needs to be involved so that we can get some solutions involved. I mean, that's the whole purpose. It's like this. You can't run a business unless you talk to your employees. You can't run a government unless you talk to your citizens. The citizens know. They live in it every day. Mm-hmm. If I'm elected mayor, I'm not living in Arndale every day. I'm not living in Sweetens Cove. I'm not living up on Prospect every day. Mm-hmm. Those folks are. It's my job as elected as mayor to get out and go talk to these folks, find out what they need, how they need it, and then me find a solution for it.
Okay.
That's my purpose as a mayor.
Yeah.
I'm not elected to take and make all the rules. I'm elected to make the city operate and run to serve the people.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Had a question and a completely. Now, obviously, coming from a smaller government mindset, when you say go and hear what a citizen needs, where is the line between what the government provides and what the government refers?
Okay. What you've got to do, you've got to find a solution to where that you can find the best solution. See, in my work, I worked at TVA as a programmer analyst.
Okay.
I actually wrote software. My job was give me a project. I've got to figure out the solutions to make it work, and I've got to find out if I make this decision, what all the consequences and what could happen,
Right.
and then find a solution for that. And that's the same way you got to do with government.
Okay.
You've got to have a problem, which we have.
No
Now
shortage
we've
of
got to find a
those.
solution, but we got to make certain that solution works for everybody.
All right. And jump in anytime. I'm
Yeah.
going to keep on leading into.
Oh,
you
well, y'all
interrupt
doing
me.
such a great job. I mean, I would just, I guess my one question, what would you like to see different in South Pittsburgh?
Oh, I can tell you exactly what I want to see. I want to see the city grow. I want to see the government to get out and recruit businesses to come in. Do you know that we've not gotten any businesses to come into this town? We've not encouraged. We don't have a restaurant that's open on Sundays.
Really?
No, we don't. Well, unless you want to go to Sonic, which I love the Sonic. But
was
you know,
gonna
that's
say.
the only restaurant that we have, or a food vendor
Yeah.
that's open on a Sunday. We need some restaurants. We need some stores to draw people. We have sitting here with Lodge Manufacturing, wonderful place. That outlet store draws people from all over the country off the interstate, which is 1/2 mile,
Yeah.
or it's a mile from the house to here, and we don't use it. Tell me, we do not. Well, they come in off the interstate, stop at Lodge, go back to the interstate. We need to draw them up here. We need businesses here that's going to draw people. Are we a big industry town? No, because we do not have the property space available for it. So we have got to become a community that draws in citizens that want, crafts, clothing stores. I've been talking to some of the merchants downtown. I mean, I've been out walking and talking, asking them. They're here.
Yeah.
That's their living.
Right.
They know what they need.
You know, you mentioned that lodge, and one thing that has always intrigued me is the billboard coming in town for the
Yes.
lodge store. Tells people to take the bypass to the second red light.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've always wondered, and I'm not, I'm sure there's a rhyme or reason, but I've always wondered, why don't they send those people through downtown? South
It goes right by the Sonic.
Right.
And, I'm sure there's a reason behind it, and traffic or something. I mean, I'm sure but I've often wondered that, because I thought, man, people might stop and eat lunch or do something.
That's the perfect thing. But even if they come down to the second red light, we need an attraction to bring them up here.
Yeah.
Other restaurants
Yeah.
for them to stop and eat a meal.
Would the
I mean,
Princess
Steve
be
Arenos?
one of those?
Huh?
Would the Princess be considered
Oh,
one?
Princess would be great. Can you imagine what would be going on now? I'm talking back from my days when I grew up, which has been a couple of years or so, but listen, the Princess used to have a matinee on Saturdays for the children. You bring the children down, what's the parents going to do? They're going to shop. They're going to take and eat while the children are enjoying movies. Then you have movies at night
Yeah.
for the families. I mean, let's use this stuff. Princess is a wonderful asset, and it's got a history that goes with it. Let's use it.
Now, what is it? I mean, obviously there's appeal for employers, even industrial employers, because Lodge and U.S. Stove, they continue to expand and they keep it right here.
That's
so
true.
what is it that, and I would contend that Jasper has the same scenario. They have a number of their existing industries that are willing. Now, there has been some county, city cooperation to get that, but
Right.
where their existing industries are expanding, but our ability to bring in new employers seems to be falling well behind our ability to enhance what we got.
Well, it is and it's not. I'm also on the Nickajack River Port Authority,
Oh, okay.
and we have an industrial park,
Yeah.
95 acres ready, and we are working constantly with the county and other agencies about recruiting
Yeah.
additional industry.
And we're
So,
looking at a rail spur going out there.
We
to
are working right
Cullinan
now on the
County.
rail spur, and we've got, once we get that in, we're hoping that will attract some more. We have been looked at a few businesses, quite impressive businesses, but because we didn't, the county and the cities and all were not prepared to offer and have everything ready for them,
Gift wrap.
then they went elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the process of that. So that's to draw businesses.
Is
We
that
are
a-
starting to draw business. But we're sitting here. We've got the interstate system that connects. We are the hub of the southeast and the north.
Sure, sure.
We have the river system that now is connected all the way to the Gulf.
Right.
With the Tom Bigsby Waterway,
Yeah.
we can bring in large barges and all now. We are the hub, the central location of everything. That's why all the car industries and stuff are coming into Chattanooga. Well, Chattanooga's run out of room. We've got to start beating the bushes and get the industry this way.
Now, me personally, and I need to wave that flag here, but I found myself frustrated because it was going on right at or a little over a year ago that, Hamilton County was saying, whoops, we're out of industrial space.
That's exactly right.
And so where, being on the Port Authority, from that perspective, now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we have somewhere in the background, we have a grant that would help us improve that road if we had a taker for the Port Authority property. Does that ring true?
There was, at one time when Chicago Bridge was looking at building over here, there was talk and an agreement. It was never laid out.
Solidified.
There was an agreement, kind of at least a verbal agreement made, that if industry came over there, they would widen 156 to handle the additional traffic that would be coming in and out of the trucking traffic.
Okay.
So that would be a.
Does that gentleman's agreement still kind of exist?
It would be if we get the right industry in. Yes.
Is
it
that
would be.
cart before the horse, or is
That kind of is the cart before the horse, because you've got to have the industry investment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Does South
now
South Pittsburg have the infrastructure
the
available for?
South Pittsburg has the infrastructure to handle any traffic of any industry it builds around here.
Yeah.
What we need to do is build our infrastructure in our city for our residents and our storefronts to live off and to draw that business from new industry that comes in. Like I said, the city does not have the property for large industry to come in. So we're going to have to recruit it like over in New Hope, which is a great place to do
Right.
and pull in. See, that's like on the Riverport Authority, I'm the at-large member. I had to be approved by the New Hope City Commission and the South Pittsburg Commission. So I was approved by both of those.
I see.
And by working that way, we can feed off each other.
you're kind of the bridge between the two.
That's what we are, yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Because, like you said, once they got the riverway where you could take it all the way to the Gulf and worldwide.
We take it to the Gulf. They just widened the Panama Canal now to where the large container ships can come straight through from the West Coast.
Yeah.
We are set and prime. We just got to do
get the legwork.
And I have to give the county and all. They're working hard. David Jackson and them's working hard. I want to get South Pittsburg working hard.
Well, and of course, he came from Kimball, and
Yes.
I'm going to speak honestly here, my GOP brethren will probably disown me for this, but I had the perception that in the case of Kimball, well, I could have gotten people to come in there because it was prime. You had no school traffic. You had, everything was pretty much gift wrapped for the bigger box people to come in there. Well, then he goes to the county, and of course I'm cautiously optimistic because I want him to carry that same level of,
We're talking about the county, but I'll tell you this, the county is working hard. The problem that the county is kind of running into is industries looking for government-owned properties so that they don't have to work.
Public and private lands.
That's the big thing. And Marion County has a lot of private, large farms, tracts of land available, but they're private.
And they would be $2,800 an acre until they smell money bags, and suddenly it's $20,000 an acre.
And so the Riverport, with its 95 acres, is really the only large publicly owned tract of land that's available. And so we're working
now,
on it.
Publicly owned, is that owned by the county, or
it's owned by the two cities,
okay,
City of South
New Hope
Pittsburg and New Hope.
Okay.
That's a joint venture.
Well, this is exciting because I never fully understood.
Yes.
Now, if we're going to go out and recruit, where are we going to do that?
Okay. For me to recruit for South Pittsburg and rebuild our downtown, we've got to go visit towns that have rebuilt themselves. And like Franklin, Tennessee, downtown Franklin, it was dead, boarded up stores. Go over and look at it now. Mm-hmm. It's got all types of stores, retail, crafts, antiques. We have an antique store in town. You know, there's a lot of folks that don't even know we have an antique store here in this town. And it's been here 10 years.
Yeah.
And we need to start promoting what we have and bring more in with it.
And how do you think we could utilize I work in South Pittsburgh. Yeah. That's as close as I get. But
maybe we'll get you to move down here after I start building.
How would you utilize like the Cornbread Festival? Oh. I mean, is that not the idea of...
The Cornbread Festival is one of the best advertisements that the city of South Pittsburg could ever want. You couldn't buy that type of advertisement because...
You bring them right by the stores.
You bring them right by the stores. You've got them there. It's something, National Cornbread Festival was just rated the #1 National Cornbread Festival in the nation.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, what else can you, advertisement that you could never buy.
Yeah. You think you can't afford land. You can't afford that.
Our city, the city government and all, the only time that they pay any attention to the downtown city is the week before. And they come in and they clean it and spruce it up. And it's really not the city. We've got volunteers. This is one of the biggest volunteer cities I've ever seen. And there is.
I will say about that.
Gosh, they come in. We've got citizens that are involved in the city. They want the things to look good. They want it to grow. They just need the government to back them up. And that's why I am running. Guys, I'm from here now. I get on my soapbox. Listen, this town means a lot to me. I'm not in it for any type of gain. I want the town to grow, and that's what I'm after.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, now you're not on this coming. You're not on the ballot until the 8th, November.
November the 8th, the day of presidential election is the day that the mayors are elected and the commissioners.
Yep.
And my comment is look, if we are not happy, and I'm not, but if the citizens are not happy with the current government, and I will use this. The recipe that our current government has right now is stale and not working. And it's time to start changing the ingredients, and we have an opportunity to change 3 of those ingredients this election on November the 8th. Now, that's the way I look at it. This one is not working.
I see. Well, listen, we very much appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming down.
Oh, listen, I appreciate the invite. I'll come back anytime and anywhere. I will, and there's never a question off the table.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, like, as you can tell, well, we try to have a little fun here.
Oh, and I
there,
enjoyed
so-
it. Listen, I've really enjoyed it, and I really do. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you
I
coming down.
appreciate it.
We
But
wish you a lot of
if
luck.
you'll stick around with us, we're going to take a short break, and Josh and I will be back. And, we're going to talk about the ballot a little bit with early voting coming online tomorrow. We're just going to run through the ballot real quick for voters and make sure that they can do a little research before they go early vote. And we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Beyond the Talking Points. We've had a pretty good show. Nancy Silvertooth running for state representative, District 39, and Virgil Holder, who wants to be the next mayor of South Pittsburg. It has got a little warmer in here. It's freezing cold. So early voting starts tomorrow.
And we wanted to take now, just for the sake of time, I want to run through from the bottom to the top because I have largely ignored the judicial retention votes. Just want to name a couple of people because we're Eastern here. On the Tennessee Supreme Court, Jeffrey Bivens and Holly Kirby are facing retention votes, whether to retain or replace them. And I'm sorry, Roger Page, also on the Supreme Court. On the Eastern Appellate Court, you've got Robert Montgomery facing retention.
The middle and the west.
And I am almost there's two things here that we're in middle and then two things we're in eastern, and I'm sorry, I can never keep them straight. But I would encourage you to go to marryingvotes.com. They've got a link to the ballot.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, on the homepage. When you're looking at the homepage, you'll see a picture of the commissioners. If you'll just go straight opposite corner, the first link down there is the August 4th ballot, which will obviously apply to early voting, which starts tomorrow. But let's talk about some of our state races. We've got, the federal race, of course, the U.S. House of Representatives, Scott Desjardins' seat currently, and he
Who's
has...
that next person on the ballot?
That is Fappus. That is Doc Fappus, as he tells me I'm supposed to be calling him.
Never heard of it. So you got that state Republican primary in 4th Congressional District, of course, Dr. Scott Desjardins, who's a local here, and I think his biggest
challenge.
is Grant Sterrett, who has a lot of money. He's from California.
Yeah.
And so those are two you can vote